Nazi Germany aimed for more than just soldiers to fight the wars. They craved unstoppable killing machines. Who is the perfect German soldier? No eating, no sleeping, just strict obedience. In their quest for super soldiers, the Nazis stepped into the wild world of psychedelics, a move that ultimately proved fatal for them. Germany must be strong. We don't need weak people. We want only the strong, Hitler declared. Does Hitler fit the mold? Not really. He is neither tall nor blonde. Hitler was void of all the pure-blood Aryan traits valued in the Nordic myth the Nazis embraced. He is ordinary looking. With his signature little mustache, his physique is far from athletic. He's afraid of cats, the sun, the rain and the snow. He can't drive, hates alcohol. He practically only eats vegetables, and he doesn't touch women. Legend has it that he threw away his last pack of cigarettes near Linz after the First World War. From then onward, supposedly, no poisons would enter his body. Hitler and his government intensely opposed any mind-altering drugs, asserting that it was impure to poison the body. The myth of Hitler as an unyielding anti-drug teetotaler, prioritizing Nazi ideology over his personal needs, was presented again and again through the mass media. The High Command started a full-blown war on drugs. Every German was also ordered to convey observations about drug-addicted acquaintances and family members so that corrective action can be taken immediately. Filing systems were put in place. In autumn 1935, a new marital health law was passed that forbade marriage if one of the parties suffered from a mental disturbance. Narcotics addicts were marginalized into this category and were branded as psychopathic personalities without the prospect of a cure. Parallelly, German propaganda during that time dehumanized Jews, directly equating them to pathogens. They were described as foreign bodies and said to be poisoning the nation. This produced the intersection between anti-drug policy and anti-Semitic propaganda. Even children's books carried a similar message. In the anti-Semitic children's book, The Poisonous Mushroom, the Nazis merged Jews and drugs as twin threats and distributed in schools and nurseries. The narrative was illustrative, with a clear message: the harmful poison mushrooms had to be eliminated. While this was happening, something was brewing in Berlin. Extensive work was constantly done on pioneering chemicals that could minimize the suffering of modern humanity or ease the pain. Researchers dedicated their efforts to finding a new type of medicine. Pervitin was born. Pervitin was nothing but methamphetamine. Yes, meth in tablet form, and was available without a prescription all over Germany. The meth manufactured in this facility attained a degree of purity that even Walter White could only have imagined. Pervitin increased alertness and performance and reduced hunger. Someone was closely observing these developments. Professor Dr. Otto Ranke, 38 years old, director of the Research Institute of Defense Physiology. Ranke had one main enemy, not the Russians, the French, or the British. It was fatigue. A sleeping soldier is a useless soldier. In the words of Ranke, relaxing on the day of fighting can decide the battle. As Ranke tested it on a group of medical officers, he believed Pervitin would be an excellent substance for rousing a weary squad. Germany awake, the Nazis had commanded. And Pervitin did just that. Nazi ideology imagined Aryans as perfect human beings who could aspire to be superhuman. And now they have a pill that could transform themselves into super soldiers. The little pill was the perfect Nazi drug. Pervitin was legal now. It slowly penetrated Germany. The advertisements dotted all over the capital's billboards. Temmler sneakily launched Pervitin to the public. Their unlikely competition? Coca-Cola. Yes. The Temmler Group ingeniously portrayed Pervitin as not a drug, but a mere energy booster. In an era thick with national tension, this enigmatic campaign silently captivated minds. Amidst the lingering aftermath of the First World War, economic turmoil, and the ominous mobilization for the Second World War, this peculiar substance found an alluring acceptance. It was inexpensively attainable, aiding people in working longer, and yet paradoxically, it was not deemed a conventional drug. At this juncture, Temmler churned out 833,000 tablets daily. The attack on its eastern neighbor saw Germany swiftly overpowering, claiming victory and leaving 100,000 Polish soldiers fallen in the wake of the relentless assault. The invasion unleashed a revolutionary form of industrialized warfare. Blitzkrieg, a lightning war, that shocked with speed and surprise. The machines roared, but fatigue struck the soldiers. They needed rest, slowing the advance. Remember Pervitin? Yes, the literal speed-fueling blitzkrieg. As historian Peter Steinkamp bluntly puts it, blitzkrieg was guided by methamphetamine. It wasn't just a supplement anymore. It was the turbocharge behind the thunderous blitzkrieg. Infused into daily rations and taken up to twice a day, the drug bestowed soldiers with seemingly supernatural abilities. Between April to July 1940, over 35 million methamphetamine tablets surged through the veins of German servicemen. Fearless and confident, they marched for over 3 days without sleep, covering 60 kilometers nonstop. In less than 100 hours, the Germans gained more territory than they had in over 4 years in the First World War. Winston Churchill, he records, was dumbfounded.
Hitler is a monster of wickedness.
This turbocharged blitz led to the swift invasion of Poland in 1939, the lightning-fast blitzkrieg through the French Ardennes in 1940, and the relentless 11-day Balkan campaign in 1941. High on Pervitin, German tank drivers and artillery crews almost never stopped moving. Neither foreign commanders nor civilians were prepared for the attack. The speed of the attack was jaw-dropping. It was a wartime fuel like no other. Hitler had been grappling with severe abdominal and digestive problems. Enter Theodor Morell, Hitler's personal physician, a slick, fawning charlatan, always eager to ensure his patient's peak condition, whether for grand Nazi rallies or crucial meetings. Morell bombarded Hitler with not just questionable remedies but also a steady stream of near-daily injections. Hitler began taking hormone injections and custom multivitamins to ease his pain. For the Führer's daily meetings, he needs to stay alert and fresh. Hitler's daily hormone injections were gradually modified by Morell to include increasingly insidious substances, eventually expanding the concoction to include more than 80 different substances, including steroids and hormonal mixtures derived from pig livers and other animal tissues. The night before a crucial 1943 meeting with Mussolini to discuss Italy's potential switch in the war, Hitler's anxiety and stomach pains peaked. Morell's usual jabs didn't cut it. Desperate, he pulled out Eucadol, an oxycodone-derived opioid. Aware of the risk of addiction, he gambled to ease Hitler's violent spastic discomfort. Having administered another dose right before the meeting, Hitler was so full of enthusiasm that Mussolini barely got a word in, and Italy's support for Germany could not be withdrawn. Meanwhile, from 1941, Pervitin's dangers were clear to the higher authorities, but the methamphetamine-driven madness persisted until the war's bitter end. Soldiers dropping dead from heart failures or committing suicide didn't deter the relentless use. The primary concern was related to dependence. Daily doses turned soldiers into Pervitin puppets, making them and their performance dependent on Pervitin. It was the crutch for physical performance and maintaining a warped euphoria amid the war's horrors. The entire nation hooked on a drug was far from ideal. Shortages triggered nausea, hallucinations, cognitive decline, anxiety, and depression. Despite attempts to curb Pervitin use, it spiraled out of control. Soldiers succumbed to cardiac failure, suicide, and military blunders. The grip on control slipped away. On July 20th, 1944, a group of German conspirators made an unsuccessful attempt to assassinate Hitler and prominent SS officers using a briefcase bomb. The resulting explosion left Hitler nearly deaf, and as the effects of Eucadol he took earlier wore off, his entire body throbbed with pain. Cocaine, the best available local anesthesia at the time, was administered in nose and throat dabs. Hitler became addicted to a cocktail of substances, including Pervitin, Eucadol, and cocaine, injected by Morell. Hitler had to put his hands on his legs to make the shaking less visible when he was sitting down. The Führer also spent New Year's Eve of 1944 in a state of intoxication. First, in combination with glucose, he took a hormone-rich animal liver injection. Then a holiday gift of Eucadol was taken. He had no clue that this was the last time he would see his beloved substance. The manufacturer of Eucadol and cocaine, the Darmstadt-based Merck Company, was hit by the British. 70% of its facilities were in ruins. The final briefing sessions in March and April 1945 were disheartening to the point of being truly grim. Hitler's sight now invoked only revulsion or pity. Everyone circled, futilely attempting to uplift his deteriorating state. His loyal followers, once nervous at a cough, now witnessed his teeth decaying, gums drying, and ruinous teeth falling out. Neurotoxins had irreversibly damaged his brain, rendering it devoid of stimulation. Delusory loops repeated, paranoia, panic about Jews, Bolsheviks, and the whiskey-drinking Churchill. Terrible headaches ensued. Hitler, desperate, dug into his yellowing skin with golden tweezers. Aggressive and nervous, battling perceived bacteria destroying him within. Hitler, gallows humor intact, suggested making Führer blood sausage. Amidst withdrawal, he wheezed pitifully, trembling with anxiety, chewing air, losing weight, kidneys and circulation failing. His downfall unfolding in relentless, accelerated sequences. Like Pluto once quoted, "Nurture the shadow, and it will one day cast darkness upon its creator." He now resembled what he once despised, a man controlled by substances he once disapproved. On April 16, 1945, Berlin faced the direct assault. 4 days later, Hitler observed his last birthday, a somber milestone in the relentless pace towards an ominous finale. The Soviets unstoppably progressed towards Berlin. After the ghostly wedding ceremony just 40 hours earlier with Eva Braun, spaghetti was served, with tomato sauce on the side, hydrogen cyanide for dessert, and a bullet. The architect of countless horrors sought to sidestep accountability. Devoid of Ukadal for a golden shot, he opted for the bullet,